It wasn't your first brush with death because it happened all too frequently back then, didn't it? With Villeneuve and then actually Riccardo, of course, Peterson at Monza in 78. That must have been a very tough moment for you because you were being accused by people of causing the accident with Ronnie. How do you reflect on Monza 78 now?
Well, I reflect that what was done from my colleagues was completely wrong. I think all the world has this opinion now that the fact that I couldn't race in Watkins Glen, let's say that it was a very hard moment for me because I was only 24. I knew because I was in front of the accident. I didn't make any influence to the accident. It was not my fault. I had a big problem with the Italian justice for 3 years before they said that I was innocent. So a lot of pressure that because of my character, that is a strong character, I could overtake. I think I showed that I didn't race in Watkins Glen, and the following race 1 week after in Montreal, I finished fourth, so it was a good result.
Why were you singled out? I mean, it's a long time ago now, I understand that. But when you think back, why, you talk about not being allowed to race at Watkins Glen because 5 of the senior drivers said they would withdraw from the race if you were allowed to start. What was their issue?
The issue was that they wanted to give me a lesson because from their point of view, during the season, I drove in a too wild mood. And because of that, they wanted to give me a lesson, not because of the Monza accident, but because of my behavior during the season. But the fact was that all the world got this exclusion because of the Monza accident. Anyway, it was not correct that the 5 my colleagues, they could decide because the federation didn't say anything about it. The federation didn't get any. They said that I was completely okay. There was not any blame on me because of the Monza accident, but they decided. Because I was a fighter, when they wanted to have this, not for me racing, I went to a civil judge in a court in America with a journalist friend of mine. We went, we asked if that was correct, and the judge said, but there is a penalty from your federation. No, there is not a penalty. So he said they cannot stop you working because you race in Watkins Glen, and that is like a work. Nobody from a federation said that you cannot do, so they are workers as you, they cannot decide. So I went back to the circuit with this piece of paper that said that I had to race. Because, the problem was Bernie that always trying to find the right compromise. I said, look, Riccardo, there's 5 world champions. They said, you are a young driver, for sure. For me, it's a problem if 5 world champions, they don't drive in Watkins Glen. Let's try to find a solution. Talk with them. And because of that, he organized a meeting between myself and them in a motorhome where I got a lot of rubbish from them, always in a very, very calm situation, saying sorry, to try to change their opinions. They didn't change opinion, so I went to this judge. The judge said I had to race. I went back with a piece of paper. I went to Jackie Oliver. I said, look, I can race, but politically, the team Arrows was the first year, and Bernie said, okay, if he comes back with this piece of paper, we cannot allow Riccardo race, otherwise the Grand Prix is going banana. So at the end, the team had to retire my car. So I went to Oliver and said, I can race. He said, no, Riccardo, you don't race. Why cannot race? Because we retired the car, you have no car to drive. So because of that, the situation finished like that. Let's say that the problem was that mainly because Hunt didn't say a word in that meeting. Was part of a clan. In those days, there was a clan of seniors. The seniors, they were very close together, and who was coming from outside, especially a young driver, was not really very much welcome, let's say, no? And of course, yes, I was aggressive and wild. I have to say that, with the rules of now, for sure, I could have a lot of penalties because of my styling of driving. But in those days, you could do it. And yes, I was aggressive. I was young. Verstappen, when he came 2 years ago, and he was very aggressive. And the seniors started to complain about him. He remembered me a little bit, because he was the young guy, that he tried to force his coming into the group of the champions. So, but and anyway, after this moment, Emerson came and he apologized. Jody. Let's say not immediately, but the year after, Jody said the same. I said I was not really much interested. So he said I didn't care much. Who was there then? Okay, the strongest one that came against me in the future after this moment, there were Ant, that forever he always did the very bad comments about me.
Did you ever have a civilized conversation with James Hunt ever again?
No, I didn't have. The last conversation I had with him, by chance, was that he was in Bernie's motorhome, and I came in. And Bernie said to him, look, James, I think after these years, it should be good maybe that you apologize to Ricciardo for what happened and so on. And he said, I don't apologize. I have nothing to apologize to Ricciardo. And so I said, Bernie, okay, I don't worry, Bernie. I said, I come later because I had to speak with him. And before to go down from the motorhome, I said, I don't need James. I don't need your excuses, your apologies. But I want to say one thing to you: fuck off. But I don't think this is good to say. But really, this is my last words with Mr. James Hunt.